When you're done watching this video, you are going to have all the skills you need to use PrizePicks and be profitable doing so. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to actually make money on PrizePicks. That's the goal of this video. As for me, my name is Matt Modai. I am a content producer for OddsJam.com, also a betting analyst. In my previous life, pre-OddsJam, my full-time job was as a data analyst. So I was able to basically marry my professional skills that I used as an analyst and my passion, which is sports and sports betting, with OddsJam. And I use both of those skills to help produce videos such as this to help us all become profitable sports bettors. So before I get into it, I will say for those of you watching, if this is the type of content that you enjoy, I would appreciate it if you could like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then comment and let me know your thoughts. Just lets me know that this is the type of stuff that you enjoy. And I would also recommend following me on the social medias, most notably Twitter, at my Twitter handle that has flashed on the screen here. I post a bunch of different helpful sports betting education stuff on my Twitter, and we can get right into it. So I'm assuming everybody who is watching this video is familiar with how PrizePicks works. If not, I will give you a quick tutorial and share my screen here. So PrizePicks is essentially like a player prop parlay. You choose between 2 and 5 players, and you choose them to go over or under a specific stat. Obviously, the payouts are going to be different based on the number of players that you have in one individual entry, but that is how PrizePicks works. So I select 2 players. I select them to go more than what their point total is currently listed at. If that play hits, I double my money. If I add a third one and that play hits, I quadruple my money. Or PrizePicks has an option where you can do a flex play, and instead of needing to hit every single one of the legs in an entry, you can only hit 2 of the 3 or 3 of the 4 and still have some sort of profit. That's pretty much how PrizePicks works. It's a player prop parlay. You add multiple plays between 2 and 5 or 2 and 6 legs. If every single one of those legs hits, you are profiting. If even one of them loses and you didn't play a flex play, then you lose your entry. Or if you did play a flex option, you made some sort of your money back. So the first thing I'm going to do when talking about PrizePicks is talk about the math behind the different payouts and stuff, and basically tell you what is optimal in terms of number of legs you should put in a PrizePicks entry. But before I get into that, the number one thing that I want to drill home when it comes to PrizePicks is that it doesn't matter what individual player props you add to an entry, the payouts are always going to be the exact same. So no matter what, every single 2-leg entry is going to double your money. Every single 3-leg entry, a power play without flex, is going to 4x your money. Every single 4-1 is going to 9x your money. Obviously, this is assuming that they all hit. That will be the profit. But it's incredibly, incredibly important to understand that concept of PrizePicks. Again, it does not matter what individual plays you add to a PrizePicks entry. The payouts are always going to be the exact same. The reason why that's such a big deal, well, think about regular sports betting on a regulated sportsbook, a FanDuel, a DraftKings, a Caesars, a BetMGM. They price plays individually based on how likely those sportsbooks deem a player prop or play in general to hit. If a sportsbook thinks a player prop is more likely to hit, they're going to make it more expensive to buy. That's how sportsbooks work, right? They price plays individually based on how likely they think a play is to hit. That's not the case on PrizePicks. And that is why you can find such a profitable strategy using PrizePicks to make money. Now, I'll get into that in a second, how to actually find player props to put into an entry. I just really wanted to drill the point home about how important that is, that the payouts are always going to be the exact same. So on this spreadsheet here that our fearless leader Alex Monahan created called Savage PrizePicks, he details the money and the math involved in each leg of a PrizePicks entry from 2 all the way up to 5 and 6 legs. So we can go through the math, and by the end of it, I will tell you what is optimal in terms of number of legs that you should put into an entry. So a 2-leg entry, I mentioned, doubles your money. In sports betting lingo, essentially that means plus 200 odds. So if you hit a 2-leg entry, $10 risked turns into $20 profit, right? Like if I make a $10 entry, this to win includes your initial amount risked. So when it says 10 to win 30, that's including the initial 10 that you put in, right? So if you subtract that, it's 10 to profit 20, doubles your money. That means you need to hit roughly 33% of your PrizePicks entries that are 2 legs in order to break even. That's how the plus 200 odds work. So any number you win above a third, you're profiting. Any number below a third, you are losing money. For a 3-leg entry, I mentioned that it quadruples your money. So I add a 3rd leg, $10 turns into $40 profit, right? To win 50, subtract your initial 10, $40 profit. Now I'll mention the math behind flex plays as well. Right now we're just talking about power plays, but for a 3-leg entry, you need to win roughly 20% of your 3-leg entry power plays in order to break even. Same thing, any number above that, you are profitable. Any number below that, you are not profitable. For a 4-leg entry, you are 9xing your money, so $10 turns into $90. The implied probability, the break-even percent there is 10%. Again, any number above, profit. Any number below, not profit. And then for a 5 and 6 pick entry, has the implied odds of plus 2,000. So if you hit one, you on average 20x your money, which means that you need to hit roughly 4.76%, which is very specific to break even. Basically, I tell people if you hit 5% of your 5 and 6 pick entries, you are profitable. If you hit less than that, you are not profitable. But 5% to make money doesn't sound that scary. And then what we can do, so we know the implied probability, both the odds and the break-even percentage. We can actually go a step further and we can find out how many of the individual player props per entry need to hit in order to be profitable. Meaning, like if I place a 2-leg entry, how many of those legs, right? 2 legs, so it's 1 player prop each. How many of those individual player props need to hit in order for me to break even based on the odds? And as you can see in the percent here, the most optimal play in terms of math is actually a 5 and 6 pick flex. You only need to win roughly 54.34% of your individual player props to be profitable, which equates to implied odds, again, going back to sports betting lingo, at minus 119. And we can see that minus 119 is better than 2, 3, and 4 legs. We see that 3 is the worst at minus 141 implied odds with a break-even win percentage of 58.48. 2 legs is also not great with the implied odds of minus 137, break-even win percent per individual leg, 57.74%. And then 4 is not bad at minus 128 with the break-even win percent of 56.23%. But again, as I mentioned, the most mathematically optimal entry, right? How many legs per entry should you play on PrizePicks? The answer to that question is 5 or 6 picks. That is the most optimal play. Again, it's scary because the more plays you add, the less likely your entry is to hit. But in terms of math, in terms of profitability, 5 and 6 pick flexes are the best option. They are the way to go. Now, I mentioned that there is a flex play for 3 and 4 legs. Now, if you do 5, it's always going to be a flex play, so you don't have the option. So at least it takes out the optionality of a 5 and 6 pick flex, right? Like the only option on 6 or on 5 is a flex. But let's talk about the math behind a flex play on 3 and 4 leg entries. Long story short, they're not optimal from a math perspective. So all the math is done here on this spreadsheet for 3 and 4 picks. What you need to know, the expected value goes down both for 3 and for 4 picks if you are doing a flex play. So if we're doing a 3 pick entry, which I already mentioned isn't optimal, so you should almost never play 3 legs, whether it's a power play or a flex play. But to show you the math, the expected value percent on a power play, and this is assuming player prop win percentage of 60%. So the individual player prop you're actually placing has a win percentage of 60%. We mentioned that the implied odds are plus 400, 4x your money. The expected value percent is 8% on a power play. Now, if we keep the same win percentage of 60% and we apply that to a flex play, that goes all the way down to 2.6%. So in terms of math reasons, right, from a math perspective, A, you should never play 3 legs. B, if you do, you should never flex it, right? That's from a math perspective. Looking at 4 legs, the math is better than 3, but it still is worse when you go from a power play to a flex play. So again, we're sticking with a 60% win percentage. The expected value percent on a 4-leg one power play is 29.6%. That goes all the way down to 16.64 if you do a flex. So yes, better than 3 legs, but a flex play still isn't optimal. What is optimal is a 5 or 6 pick flex, as I mentioned, has the best implied odds of any single entry that you can make. 5 and 6 pick, right? It's the most optimal. All right, so we know that we should play 5 or 6 pick flexes. How do we know what plays to add, right? That's the most important thing. That's what we'll get into next. So again, I mentioned, no matter what individual play you add, the payouts are the exact same on PrizePicks, right? Like let's take out all 3 of these 4 and let's add a new 4. We all take them to go over their point total. Guess what? The payouts are the exact same. 9 times in your money on a 4-play power play. If it hits, if you take out 1, you're 4xing your money. If you take out 1, you are doubling your money, right? The payouts are the exact same. So when you are looking for player props to add to a PrizePicks entry, and this is going to sound like a dumbed down caveman explanation, you are literally looking for player props that are deemed likely to hit. Literally, that's what it is. Player props that have a win percentage above 54.34%, which again, I know sounds dumb, like, oh, thanks, Matt. We're looking for plays that are likely to hit. Yes, but let me explain, because that is actually not the strategy when you're sports betting, right? When you're sports betting, you're looking for value across the entire markets. If FanDuel has something priced at plus 200 and every other book has it priced at plus 150, that is a valuable bet to make on FanDuel, right? Because all sportsbooks have different odds. You're looking for value on one individual sportsbook that is an outlier. But that's not the case with PrizePicks. So when you're looking at PrizePicks, like I said, you're literally looking at plays that are likely to hit. And let me use this screenshot as an example. So I pulled this from the OddsJam Positive Expected Value page. The nice thing about using OddsJam, especially the EV page, is you can literally filter specifically for PrizePicks, and you can blindly put all of these plays into an entry. So it takes away a lot of the thought and the effort when it comes to actually finding plays to put into PrizePicks, right? But look at this example here. So we know that PrizePicks has the implied odds of minus 119. Look at where every other sportsbook is pricing this play. Now remember, for sports betting, the minus dictates the favorite. The bigger the number next to the minus, the heavier the favorite. So we see minus 140, minus 146, minus 140, minus 135, minus 135, minus 151. Every single sportsbook that is pricing this play has it as a likely play to hit, pretty significantly so. PrizePicks doesn't do that. They have it the same exact odds for the over or for the under. So if you click this calculator here on the OddsJam Positive EV page, it actually gives you the win percentage, and this play is going to hit roughly 55% of the time, 54.91, which is above the break-even win percentage that we need. And just look at where these sportsbooks have the over and the under priced, right? They have the over wildly priced at minus 146 compared to an under at plus 110. Like this under is going to hit at like a 40% rate. So why on earth would you choose the under when you can bet for literally the same exact price on the over, which every single sportsbook is telling you is the likely play to hit? So at the beginning, when I mentioned you want to find plays that are likely to hit, I don't mean like go with your gut. Embiid's going to go off tonight. I'm taking his point total over. You know, LeBron's going to go off, right? He's going to have a ton of assists. No, I mean, let the market, let the sports books tell you what player props they deem are likely to hit, and then just combine those into a PrizePicks entry. That is literally all you need to do to make money on PrizePicks. Let the markets, let the FanDuels and the DraftKings of the world tell you what player props, right? They're charging more money, making it more expensive to buy, which is them telling you they think that that's more likely to hit, right? They're charging more money for it because they think it's likely to hit. We are not getting charged any more money on PrizePicks. And you can find these types of player props on the Positive EV page. You can also find them on other tools as well, like the low holds page. You just filter. Specifically, you type in PrizePicks. Guess what? There are a bunch of different plays here that are good on PrizePicks. Like if we just click into this play, it's on the Darius Garland over 6.5 assists. It's the same exact thing here, right? Look at where every single sportsbook is pricing this play. -130 up to -143, -138. They're all having it as the significantly more expensive play, right? Between the over and the under. They're favoring the over, telling you they think he's going to go over. So put that in a PrizePicks entry. Low holds page, great tool on PrizePicks. The OddsJam screen is great as well. The way the OddsJam screen works is you pick a market. In this case, we're looking at NBA player points, and it literally pulls up where every single sportsbook is pricing the main line for this play, right? Like what are they pricing these NBA players and their point total at? Well, you can change a color specifically for PrizePicks. So you click set color, you click the color you want, and then it makes it red. So, okay, let's compare the red option, the PrizePicks column, to every other sportsbook. Well, here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Jalen Brunson, and it's his point total. So majority of sportsbooks have this priced at 23.5, right? Like pretty much across the board, 23, 23. We have one Bet Rivers at 24, but they favor the under, 23, 23, 23. Well, PrizePicks has this at 24.5. That's a point higher. So if you think about it, every single sportsbook thinks that Jalen Brunson's point total should be priced at 23.5. And that 1 point difference is a huge deal in the long run. So the screen is another great way to find player props to put into a PrizePicks entry. But literally all you need to do, just filter Positive EV page for PrizePicks. Lock in as many of these as you find. You want more? Go to the low holds page. Filter specifically for PrizePicks. Lock in as many of these as you can find. The screen takes a little bit more digging because you need to compare PrizePicks to the other sportsbooks. So it requires a little bit more work. Just as great of a tool to find player props to put into a PrizePicks entry. And that's pretty much it. So we've learned what the optimal number of legs to put into an entry is, 5 or 6 picks, right? You want to play 5 or 6 pick entries on PrizePicks. And now we've learned how to find plays to put into PrizePicks as well. Find player props that the sportsbooks are telling you are likely to hit, put those into a PrizePicks entry, and watch yourself profit. And that's it. So hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully you found it as a useful tool to help you start making money on PrizePicks. Again, if you did enjoy it, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit me up on social media. My link to it is in the description of the video. And that's it. So appreciate everybody watching and have a good one.